Amber Rose, I'm going to say the phone number again. And I'm going to ask you to say why you chose Bernadette Mayer's The Incorporation of Sophia's Cereal for your poem, your pandemic poem. And I guess I want to say to everybody that the poem, The Incorporation of Sophia's Cereal by Bernadette Mayer, is available in ModPo Plus Part 2. ModPo Plus Part 2. And Ambrose, what I'm going to do, and I'm sorry I'll make you unintentionally invisible for a second because I'm going to show everybody the poem. So while I'm doing that, you can get started and say why it is that you chose this poem. How is rereading this poem significant for you right now?
So I picked this poem for a couple of reasons. I think there are a couple of things that, stick out to me and sort of resonate with what I'm experiencing right now. So in part, the synchronistic goings on. So she's asking what poetry is, or maybe thinking about pontificating about what poetry is, in the midst of all of these things going on. And I think that word syncretism really stood out to me because I'm teaching this, or I was teaching this semester, and the amount of times that I heard syncing classes or synchronous
Mm.
teaching or whatever, that word is just sort of milling around the university right now. So that was one thing. But I think that middle section where she writes, and equally always the synchronistic goings on, because everyone is furnishing everything with the body they already have to live in.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I think I've been thinking about just kind of, I'm living alone right now, and so the kind of singularity of living alone, but also just the singularity of my body as my vessel. I think I've been turning with a different kind of attention to my body as the thing that I have,
Mhm.
and the thing that I'm able to pay attention to a little bit more, to tend to a little bit more. And it's what I already have, right? So when lots of things are taken away, when company is taken away, when opportunities to go out or socialize are taken away, like what is it that I have? And I have this vessel. I've been thinking a lot about getting
Mm.
stronger, working on my body, strengthening my body. So there's that. But I think the part that made me happy in reading this poem again during the pandemic is towards the end. She says, "Beyond even believing in living," and uh, I think, I don't know, when something like this happens, it sort of can create sort of a meta crisis of like, what's going to happen? Is this the apocalypse? Is it all is it all downhill from here? How can I think about my career goals or my desires? Does it even make sense to think about a future
Mm.
in the same way I was thinking about it before? So beyond kind of all of these imaginings of what living will be in the future, what we can pay attention to and what we can count on is sort of what's happening immediately in the present.
Yeah.
Um, and what's happening in the present of this poem is Bernadette Mayer's daughter, Sophia,
Yeah.
is eating a bowl of cereal and
Yes.
kind of building this imaginary where the bananas are teachers and the cereals kids, and she is eating them. And that kind of small, performative, imaginative moment with kind of mundane morning items is
Yeah.
something that, I don't know, it interrupts the morning. It makes eating
Yeah.
cereal more than eating cereal, and something that
Yeah.
feels exciting and kind of fun.
Oh,
And
that's great.
yeah, it's been important for me to find those kinds of moments, to interrupt my day, even if there's no one else around me, to find
Yeah.
moments of joy and imagination.
That's really lovely. In the middle of what you said, Jess was nodding, like you seem. So Jess, I would invite you to comment on this. I just wanted to add before that um, I your focus on the not just the eating of the cereal and dailiness, but the fact that Bernadette and Sophia work out a kind of alternative classroom. you know, there's a lot of parents of school age children who are doing this Bernadette Mayer thing without realizing it's incredibly avant-garde. It's incredibly avant-garde to take eating cereal and make it your education. And that's certainly what Bernadette felt like when she was doing all kinds of versions of homeschooling isn't the right word, but I can't think of another one, really basically thinking that the education of my children has to happen here. Jess, do you have any thoughts about that and on what Amber Rose said?
Sure. I think I was probably nodding for many reasons, but one of those reasons is that just yesterday I was thinking about breakfast,
But
and
not
about
today.
what's that?
Not today, though.
Well, no. Well, probably. I mean, one thinks about breakfast most days, but I think um, I think this is a time in which repetitive activities that normally bring pleasure, such as breakfast, um, it's very easy for them to become dull, um,
Mm,
not sites for imagination and sort of becoming more than they are, transformation,
mm,
whatever. And I was thinking about breakfast because I love breakfast, but so much of what we do in these days is repetitive, and so those things that that used to be so simply good because they were offset by the things that were different, that changed from day to day,
yeah.
those things are no longer there. So I was nodding because this poem was helping me to, yeah, get out of
Yeah.
that kind of, oh, it's such a bummer, even breakfast has become dull,
Yeah. Oh,
this
that's nice.
repetition that's so special and that does renew with each day. So I appreciated that.
That's great. Thank you, Jess. And thank you, Amber Rose. That was really great.